So let's solve some examples of the chapter time and work. So Ram can finish a piece of work in 12 days while Raju can do it in 20 days. If they both work together, what time will they take to do the work? So let's see. Let's consider Ram. He takes to complete this work in 12 days to complete the work. So in one day, he completes 1/12 of the work, right? Now, in the case of Raju, he can do the work in 20 days, right? In 20 days, he completes the work. Now, in one day, he completes 1/20th the work, right? So, if they both work together, what time will they take to do the work? So, if they're both working together, in one day, how much work would be completed? The amount of work which would be completed in one day would be 1/12 plus 1/20. It would be equal to 20 plus 12 divided by 12 into 2 is 24 and 240. So, we get 32 by 240. So, we could cancel this out by we could cancel this out by 4. 8 4s are 32, then 6 4s are 24 and 0. Again, let's cancel this out by 2 again or 4 again. So 4 2 times, and here 4 is 2, 1 4s are 4 and 20 it's 5 times. So it's 2/15 amount of work is completed in one day. So what is the time required? Time required would be 15/2, that is equal to 7.5. So 7.5 hours, that 7.5 days is required to complete the work if they both work together, right? Now, A and B can do a work in 2 days. If A alone can do the work in 6 days, how many days will it take for B to complete the work alone? So, here we could see that 1 by the amount of work done by A, or we could use it in this way, in one day, right? So, the work done by A in one day plus, we have one day here, the work done by A in one day plus the work done by B in one day is equal to 1/2, right? If A alone can do the work in 6 days, so in one day A does 1/6 the work. How many days will it take for B to complete the work alone? So we have B does the work in 1/2 minus 1/6. That is the amount of work which B does in one day. That is 6 minus 2, 4 by 6 2s are 12. That is 1/3, right? So 1/3 is the time which is required for B to complete the work alone, right? Yeah. Now, Tanmay and Ankit together can erect a shed in 4 days. Tanmay alone takes 6 days to do the work. How much time would Ankit alone would take to do the same work? So Tanmay and Ankit together can erect a sheet in 4 days. So in one day, the amount of work Tanmay does plus the amount of work Ankit does is equal to 1/4, right? Tanmay alone takes 6 days to complete the work. So in one day, Tanmay works around 1/6 of the work is done by the Tanmay in one day, right? Now plus Ankit's work is equal to 1/4. So Ankit's work is equal to 1/4 minus 1/6. So that is 6 minus 4, 2 by 6 4s are 24. That is 1/12. So 1/12 is the time taken by Ankit to do the work alone. Now, let's solve this question from the chapter Time and Work. 7 men and 8 boys can do a piece of work in 2 days. Like 7 men and 8 boys can do a piece of work in 2 days. 4 men and 12 boys can do the same work in 1 day. In how many days will one man do this work, right? So, in 2 days, 7 men and 8 boys are doing this work. So, in 1 day, we require 7/2 men and 8/2 boys to do this work, which gives us 7/2 men and 4 boys to complete the work in 1 day, right? Now, the amount of work done by 7 by 2 men and 4 boys in one day would be equal to 2 by 7, the amount of work done by men, plus 1 by 4, the amount of work done by boys. And the next time we have 1 by 4, the amount of work done by men, and 1 by 12, the amount of work done by boys. So let's equate this. We get 2 by 7 men plus 1 by 4 boy is equal to 1 by 4 men plus 1 by 12 boys, right? So we get 4 to the 8. Now we calculate it how? We take all the men to one side and all the boys to another side, right? Now let's calculate this. We have 4 to the 8, 8 minus 7 is 1. So m by 7 4s are 28 is equal to 4 minus 12. Let's get minus 8 times b by 12 into 4. 4 2s are 8 and 4 1s are 4, which is 48. So we could cut out 4 from here, so we get 24 and we get 12. So the amount of work done by man in one day is equal to 28 days. Now let's move on to the next question. 8 men can dig a pit in 20 days. So 8 men can dig a pit in 20 days. If a man works 1.5 as much as a boy, so the work done by a boy is equal to 1, then the work done by a man is equal to 1 plus 1 by 2, which is equal to 3 by 2. So the ratio of work done by the man to the ratio of work done by a boy is equal to 3 is to 2. Now we have to find 4 men and 9 boys can dig it in how many days, right? So let's see. Here we have amount of work done by, so the total amount of work would be 8 into 20 days into 3, right? So 4 men and 9 boys are doing the work. So we have 4 into 3 plus 9 into 2, which is equal to 12 plus 18, which is equal to 30. Now the work amount of days required would be 8 into 20 into 3 divided by 30. So we could cancel this out and we'll get 16 days as the answer. So 16 days is the answer for this question. Now, if 1 man or 2 women or 3 boys can do a piece of work in 44 days, so the amount of work done in one day would be 1 by 44 plus 1 by efficiency of women would be 2 into 44, right? 2 women is required to do the same amount of work, right? Then this would be x and this would be x, and again 3 boys, 1 by x by 3 would be 3 into 44, right? Now we have to calculate this. We have 1 by 44, 2 by 44 and 3, 1 by 44, when 1 by 2 into 44 and 1 by 3 into 44, right? So let's convert this whole into the same thing, or let's see, we have 1x by 44 plus 1x by 88 plus 1x by 44 into 3, 4 3s are 12, 4 3s are 12 plus 1 is 12 plus 1 is 13, and 132. Let's make all the denominator to 132. So we'll multiply this by 3, we'll get 3x plus this into 88 into, we have 44. Okay, let's do one thing, let's divide all this by 44, all the denominators, or let's make every denominator to 44, right? So let's divide both the terms by 2. Okay, we'll divide both the numerator and denominator by each of the values to get the denominator as 44. So first value would be 1x, second value would be 1 by 2x, and third value would be 1 by 3x, which would be equal to 1 plus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 3, right? So 1 plus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 3, 1 plus 3 plus 2 is 5, 5 by 6, and this becomes 6 plus 5 is 11, 11 by 6. So we have 11 by 6 by 44, which becomes 11 by 6 into 1 by 44, and we cancel this out into 4, and we have 1 by 24 here. So the amount of days required is 24 days. Now let's move on to the next question. Ravi alone does a piece of work in 2 days. So Ravi takes 2 days to do a work. So amount of work done is 1 by 2 in a day. Right? Rajesh does it in 6 days. For Rajesh, he takes 6 days to do the work. So the amount of work he does is 1 by 6 in a day. Right? Now, how many days will they do it, will they take it to do it together? So we have 1 by 2 work done in a day and 1 by 6 work in a day. So total amount of work in a day would be work in a day by both of them would be 1 by 2 plus 1 by 6. This becomes 6 plus 2 is 8 and 6 2s are 12, right? Now cancel this out by 4, we get 2 by 3. Now we have, so how many days will it take? It would take 3 by 2 days, or is equal to 1 by 2 days for both of them to complete the work. Now let's move on to the next question. A is twice as good as a workman as B, and together they finish a piece of work in 14 days. So if A does one work in a day, A is twice as good as workman, right? So if B is taking one amount of time, A would take, no, if B is taking two, so the time taken for them to complete the work, A is to B, is A is twice as good as a workman, right? So time taken would be 1:2, right? And together they finish a piece of work in 14 days. So how many days can A alone can finish the work? So the efficiency of A is double as B. That is, the amount of work done by A. Amount of work done by A is twice as the amount of work done by B. So amount of work done by A is twice as the amount of work done by B. So if amount of work done by A is equal to X, this amount of work done by B is equal to 2 times X, right? And they finish a piece of work in 14 days. So 1 by X plus 1 by 2X is equal to 1 by 14, right? This is the amount of work, or X plus, okay, number of days taken, right? Now we get 2x plus x is equal to 3x by 2x into x is 2x square. This and this cancels out, is equal to 1 by 14. So we take this x up here, then 14 here. So we get 14 into 3 by 2 and 7, and 7 3s are 21. So we get 21 days as the answer here. Now A and B can do a piece of work in 18 days. So A and B does a work in 18 days. So the amount of work done by A and the amount of work done by B is equal to 1 by 18. Now B and C in 24 days. B and C takes 24 days. So 1 by B, the amount of work done by B, and the amount of work done by C is equal to 1 by 24, right? Now C and A takes 36 days. Now 1 by C plus 1 by A is equal to 1 by 36, right? Now in how many days can they do it all together? So we have 1 by A plus 1 by B is equal to 1 by 18, right? 1 by A plus 1 by B is equal to 18. Then we have or we have A plus B is equal to 1 by 18. We could take it in that way. Now B plus C is equal to 1 by 24. Why? Because B and C is the number, this is the amount of work done and this is the number of days. So this would be opposite, right? And C and A does this in 1 by 36. This is the amount of work done. So let's add all these equations. So let's add all these equations and we'll get 2 times A plus B plus C is equal to, how did we get here? We are adding all these, so we get A plus A is 2A, B plus B is 2B, C plus C is 2B. I'm taking 2 as common, so we get 2 into A plus B plus C is equal to 1 by 18, 1 by 18 1 by 18 plus 1 by 24 plus 1 by 36. 1 by 18 plus 1 by 24 plus 1 by 36. So now let's, convert this into the same denominator or anything. So we could do one thing. What do we have in common here? We have, let's say, 6 in common, right? We have 6 into 3 here, we have 6 into 4 here, and we have 6 into 6 here. So we make the denominator as 6 of everyone, right? So the denominator should be x, so the numerator should be divided by 6 into 3, right? We are dividing this by 3 and this by 3. Now, numerator of here and denominator of here divided by 6 times and 4, right? So 1 by 4 times the denominator and 1 by 6 times the denominator, right? This would be equal to, we could see 1 by 3 plus 6 plus 4 by 6 into 4, which is equal to 1 by 3 plus 6 plus 4, 10 by 24. Now 24 plus 30, we have 54 divided by 24 into 3, 4 3s are 12, 3 2s are 6 and 7, 72. So we have 54 by 72 divided by 6, which could be equal to 54 by 72 into 1 by 6. And 6 and 54 cancels out to be 9 times and 9 and 72 to be 8 times. So it's 1 by 8. So A plus B plus C becomes 1 by 16, right? So the answer for this question is 16 days. Let's move on to the next question. So here A alone can complete a work in 18 days and B alone can complete a work in 15 days. Now B alone worked at it for 10 days and then left the work. In how many more days will A alone complete the remaining work? So A alone took 18 days. So the amount of work done by A is 1 by 18 in a day, per day. Now for B, it became 15 days. So it's 1 by 15 per day. So the work completed by B in 10 days is equal to 10 by 15, right? Let's factorize, cancel this out and we'll get 2 by 3, right? We'll get, so 2 by 3 amount of work is done by B. So how much remaining is done by, to be done by A? It's 1 minus 2 by 3. 3 minus 2 is 1 by 3. So 1 by 3 amount of work should be done by A, right? So A does 1 by 18 per day. And we have to complete 1 by 3 per day, right? So we get 18 into 1 by 3. So this cancels out to be 6. So the answer is 6. Right. Now let's move on to the next question. So here in this question, A does half as much as B's work in 3/4 of the time. If together they take 8 days to complete the work, how many days will B take to do it? So let's say that B takes X days to do to complete the work, right? So A takes how much of the days to complete the work? Let's say A takes 2 times 3/4 of the time of X, right? This is 2 times 3/4 of the time of X, which becomes 3 by 2X. So together they complete the work in 8 days. So 1 by X plus 2 by 3X is equal to 1 by 8, right? So 3X plus 2X, 5X divided by 3X square is equal to 1 by 8. So X square and X cancels out and we get 5 by 3 into 8 is equal to X, right? 5 8s are 40, 40 by 3, right? We get 40 by 3. I think the question is supposed to be 18 days. So this becomes 18, 18 and 6, 6 5s are 30. So the question is 18 days here and the number of days is 30 days. Now, a man can do a piece of work in 5 days. So a man can do a piece of work in 5 days. So the amount of work done by the man in 1 day is equal to 1 by 5, right? But with the help of his son, he can do it in 3 days. So let's say that his son takes X days to complete the work. So in 1 day, the amount of work done by the son is 1 by X. So he can do it in 3 days, right? In what time can the son do it alone? So we have 1 by 5 plus 1 by X is equal to 1 by 3. Now 1 by X is equal to 1 by 3 minus 1 by 5, right? So 5 minus 3 is 2, 2 by 5 3s are 15. So 1 by X is equal to 2 by 15 and X is equal to 15 by 2, which is equal to 7.5. So the answer is 7.5 here. Now let's move on to the next question. If 12 men and 16 boys can do a piece of work in 5 days and 13 men and 24 boys can do it in 4 days, compare the daily work done by a man with that done by a boy. So 12 men and 16 boys do a piece of work in 5 days, right? And 13 men and 24 boys does the same amount of work in 4 days, right? So let's see how much days each one takes. So 12 men and 16 boys. Let's say 12 men do X amount of work and 16 boys do Y amount of work in a day, right? And in 5 days they gets it 1 by 5th of the work done in 1 day, right? And at the same time 12 men does X amount of work and 24 boys does Y amount of work and they does 1 by 4th of the work, right, in 1 day. So here we'll get 5 times 12x plus 16y is equal to 4 times 13x plus 24y. How did we get it? This is the amount of work done in 1 day, right? Now 12 into 5. 5 2s are 10, 5 1s are 5 and 6. So 60x plus 16 into 5, 5 6 are 30, 5 1s are 5 and 8, 80y is equal to 13 into 4, 4 3s are 12, 4 1s are 4 and 5, 52x plus 24 into 4 is 4 4s are 16, 4 2s are 8 and 9. So 96y. So let's subtract it from here and there and we get 60x minus 52x is equal to 96y minus 80y, right? So 60 minus 52 becomes 8x. So 8x is equal to 96 minus 80. We have 1 and 6y. So x by y ratio is equal to 16 by 8, which is equal to 2 by 1, which is equal to 2 is to 1. Now let's move on to the next question, where 7 men and 8 boys can do a piece of work in 2 days, right? So 7 men and 8 boys can do a piece of work in 2 days, and 4 men and 12 boys can do a piece of work, do the 29 by 56 parts of the work, same amount of work in 1 day. So the number of days required to do 56 by 56, that is one work, is equal to 56 by 29, right? Takes 56 by 29 days, right? Now we have 7 times the work done by men. What is the work in 1 day? So it's 7 times the work done by men plus 8 times the work done by the boys into 2 times, right? The total work done. Or they does, or we could say that this is equal to 1 by 2. The amount of work done in a day is 1 by 2. And here we have 4 men and 12 boys doing the same amount of work. What is the amount of work done in 1 day? It's equal to 29 by 56. Right? Now, let's change the denominator of one of these ones. So we get 79 and we get 4m and 7m. So we could change this to, 28, both of them to 28. So we could say we have to calculate the amount of man, right? So let's do 12 into 8. 8 2s are 16, 8 1s are 1 and 96. So we'll convert them into 96, or we'll do the opposite, right? We'll convert them into 28. So 28m plus 8 into 4, 8 4s are 32. B is equal to 4 by 2 is 2. Now we have 4m plus 12b. 4 into 7 is 28m plus 12 into 7. 7 2s are 14. 7 1s are 7 and 8. 84b is equal to 29 by 56 into 7, right? 7 8s are 56, right? Now, we'll subtract these two, that is, we'll subtract this equation, we'll do 2 minus 1. So, we'll do 2 minus 1 and we'll get 84 minus 32. 2 and 5, we have 52b is equal to 29 by 8 minus 2. We'll convert the denominator into 8. 4 2s are, so 8 into 2 is 16 by 8. Now 29 minus 16 is 3 and 1. We have 13 by 8. So B is equal to 13 by 8 into 52, right? Now 52 into 8 is 8 2 is 16. 5 8s are 40 and 4 1 6. So we have 13 divided by, we'll just write it as 8 into 52. Now let's substitute this in this equation here. So we have B is equal to 13 by 8 into 52. B is equal to 13 divided by 8 into 52, right? Now we have the formula that 4m plus 12b is equal to, or 7m plus 8b is equal to 1 by 2. 7m plus 8b equal to 1 by 2, right? So 7m plus 8 into 13 by 8 into 52 is equal to 1 by 2. We cancel this 8 out, and 13 and 52. What is 4? 3s are 12. 4 1s are 4 and 5. So this is 4, right? Now 7m is equal to 1 by 2 minus 1 by 4. 4 minus 2 is 2. 2 by 8. 2 by 8 is 1 by 4. Now m is equal to 1 by 4 into 7, that is 1 by 28, or the amount of days taken is equal to 28 days.